Deluxe electronic 506 is finally finished, done, then repaired, and it's now ready to show you what it looks and works like now. This very premium, expensive, massive 1980s cylinder cleaner, not so premium underneath the surface. Let's have a look and I'll show you how it works now. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? Yeah, sorry this after video has taken so long to get together, but you know what, it hasn't been completely plain sailing. I should explain when we get to that far, but it is done nonetheless and it looks a whole lot better than before, bar some scratches which I can't do too much with. It's polished up an absolute treat and is ever so shiny once more. Very lucky there weren't any decals on it really, bar on this bit, which don't polish anyway, because yeah, it made it really easy. Let's start off with the tools, and the Vario 2000 floor head, despite its battle scars, works really well indeed. I managed to bend the brush strips back level, and yeah, it all works very well indeed. The wheels turn, it's all rather jolly indeed. I hesitate to call it a telescopic extension one, because it sort of is. You can, you know, lock it in various positions, but problem is if you twist it too much, it comes back apart. It's a very early design of telescopic wand, and I'd imagine, I haven't got the instructions to confirm. If anybody does, please comment, but I think it was more just you make it big and then you never touch it again. But yeah, you could set it once and then do it, but certainly compared to today's push button ratchety wands, very different indeed. Hose came up rather like a hose does. It's fixed to the machine at the minute and rather difficult to take off. I'm going to try and leave it on for this video. But yeah, very simple, basic design this one. They got a bit fancier with double necks and elbows and whatnot in the 90s, but I don't have one of those. We just have this one. Let me bring you down and we'll start to go through this brown turd itself. And yes, it is very brown, isn't it? It is shiny brown now. There you see, you can polish a turd. Very 1980s indeed. Under the tools cover, we have our full selection of tools, which is flipping rare in itself. The dusting brush came up very nicely indeed. The upholstery tool doesn't really seem to have been used that much at all. Crevice tool, not bad. And yeah, the radiator brush, which so many of these mid-80s, early 90s cleaners started to come. It's a bit stupid really, because it fits to the end of the crevice tool, and I tried this with several cleaners. I say it fits to the end of the crevice tool, you've got to shove it on, but once you get to about there, it doesn't really fit down the side of your radiator, so you can get all the top dust, but I don't know if your radiators are like mine, but all the dust builds up like most of the way down it, making these sorts of tools a little bit pointless indeed. So there's that. If we lift up the back compartment, we can see that yes, we have HEPA flowed it, because you know, why wouldn't you really? It fits on. Ooh, there, literally just pushes on really easily indeed. I have used this in refurbishing it, so you know, not going to worry about that. But that's a good thing, because if you remember, it was missing one/most of its bag holders. So the fact that we can HEPA flow it means we don't have to worry about finding these very unobtainium things indeed. And I cut a new pre-motor filter like so. Very good indeed. Just got to make sure that the bag doesn't get caught in there when you close the lid. And then on to the piano keys, which is where most of the issues have been, really, because the control mechanism for it fell apart. Basically, when you push these, there's a metal bar, and then when you push the button down, it pushes a plastic bit in and basically just connects two connectors, and then when you lift it off, it defaults back to its other setting, and they now all work. When I first took it apart, it fell apart, sadly. I've got some pictures I'll try and show you, and I bodged it to start with and lost a lot of the settings, actually, and I've today had another go and got it working a lot better, to the point that I'm happy enough to leave it. And with this, yeah, when you turn it on, it defaults to 650 because there's a little wing that just comes under here, so you can have it whatever setting you want, and as soon as you turn it on or off, it goes to 650, rather like the auto-save pneumatics did. Very futuristic indeed. If we open up the cover, this is another issue, and I have no idea what I've done, cannot see anything, but you can't really pull the cable out unless you push the button. I think where I cleaned the cable and cleaned the brake that, you know, stops the cable from just going straight back in, it grips onto the cable more now. I mean, you can sort of do it now that you're not in fear of ripping the flex off out of the plug, but yeah, that's a little bit of a pain. I can't say it's terrible. I'm not that upset about it, although it doesn't seem to hold the flex fully. The plastic bit's a little bit worn, but it does the job and allows us to extract our Legrand plug. Nothing too special about this Legrand plug. It has insulated pins, so it's a bit boring, bar the fact that it fits in this hole absolutely perfectly. If you have one of these and you need a plug, you need one of these specifically. I presume other brands do them. I'm sure I've seen these badged up as Micro Mark, but yeah, you need the specific square plug so that it fits in the hole. This hole being made for 2-pin Euro style plug, but with a Legrand it fits fine. Let me get all that back out again and we'll turn it on and show you what it sounds like now. I mean, I said I'll show you what it sounds like now. It doesn't actually sound any different than before. It did always run quite well, but runs a little bit better now. So when we turn it on, it goes straight to 650. Very strong suction. 250, which is there. Then there's 500, which is the bit that's broken. If you listen, that's 500, but if I let it go, it basically goes back to 250. 750, 1100, and then off, and then back on again to 650. So yeah, the pain in the bum is if I take this piano key off and push it manually, it does latch on, and I did think about putting a little drop of hot glue on it somewhere, but unfortunately these are very fragile and they're all held in with little bits of plastic, one of which had broken. I won't tell you on which key because you can't actually tell. Plus the difference between 250 and 500, 250 is on, is pretty much flip all, so I've decided to not care about it. You know, the fact that this machine's alive at all is amazing, and you know, it's rare enough having the piano keys. And yeah, the little tiny 150 watt difference between 250 and 500, especially when I'm rarely going to use it. I mean, you either keep it on eco, or what most people would always do with this is just stick it on to 1100 watts and never care about it again, because who cares about economy mode? So yeah, let's do some cleaning because the airflow really is tremendously good. Bring this out of the way. We'll keep it on its economy mode to start with, but yeah, this floor head, it's a very lazy floor head. It isn't the sort of deep cleaning thing that modern cleaners have, but it does do a decent enough job. It sealed itself to the carpet quite nicely, but yeah, it's not doing anything to the tile at all. apart from skip over it a bit on this one. We put this on 1100. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I think it defaults to 250. None of the keys are pushed down at the minute. You can make it do that. Leave it on 250. Yeah, not quite sure what you do with that. It's not exactly quiet either, but hey, it's an option. But if we go up to the top, it likes this much better. And of course we can put the brushes down and clean all the floor as well. It really is a lovely old Hector to use. I'll let that'll give you a sneak peek as to which bit's broken. One of the little tabs snaps off of the economy key, which is frightfully annoying, but equally there's nothing I can do about it, so there's no point in caring really. And yeah, I can certainly see this being used in a big old 1980s house that probably only cost about £15,000. Back then, yeah, rolling around the fitted carpets. I mean, you can use the tools and whatnot. Yeah, these things I think only really ever got thrown away because people just bought a Dyson because they thought they were supposed to, really. I imagine hundreds and thousands of machines like this went to the tip for want of nothing really, bar a new bag. I mean, this one's obviously was a bit missing a part, but generally these don't die. Big old motor in them, nice, lazy. I've been using it upstairs quite a lot actually because it really likes the upstairs carpet that I have, which is why the bag is a bit full. But there we go. I'm going to keep this one around certainly for a while because it's quite rare really and very, very beautiful too. So, have you got a nice old AEG? If so, comment below and tell me what you think of yours, and I, and maybe this, will see you soon. Bye bye.